The Tory party is basically screwed, isn't it? And in my opinion, completely well deserved, considering their dismal performance from 2010 to 2024. But seriously, how did they go? From the titans of Winston Churchill and Margaret Thatcher, from the 1940s to the 1990s. Even in the 2010s, it was still a potent force.
We're going to get Brexit done.
But after 2024, and with signs since 2022, the Tories are clearly not returning to any form of government, probably forever, given their place in the polls. And it seems to be clear that the two major parties in the future will probably be Reform UK and Labour. Nevertheless, I still think the Tories might have three paths to go in the foreseeable future. Now, before we start, this video is a video version of my article on Substack. A link to that will be in the description. Here are the three scenarios. In scenario 1, the Conservatives will be in a coalition with Reform. While it is true that the Tories are probably gone forever from being one of the two major parties in British politics, the Tories still have sizable support, especially if Reform underperforms and gets a plurality rather than the majority, and therefore will require the support of other parties, one of them most likely being the Tories. And Reform UK's own underperformances in governance might also dent its chances. For example, one can simply look to Kent County Council, with all the chaoses ongoing with leaked Zoom calls, shenanigans over Aussie leadership, and an intolerance for dissent. Moreover, 2 of the 5 of the original Reform MPs and former co-deputy leader of Reform UK, Ben Habib, has left the party due to their disagreements with Nigel Farage's leadership style and backtracking of some conservative right-wing policies. Due to real and perceived underperformance among some voters.
Are you getting a bit of buyer's remorse?
A little bit, yes.
And in a lot of Western democracies, with the exception of the United States, there are often at least 2 right-wing parties that can win sizable support. Britain is no different, and a Reform does underperform expectations in the polls, which is indeed possible. Reform and the Tories will have no choice but to team up together and form a coalition to avoid a hung parliament. In scenario 2, in order to gain further relevance and to move away from its one-nation conservatism past, it allows people like Rupert Lowe, Ben Habib, and Tommy Robinson to enter the party and to become its de facto leaders. This might face pushback from the Michael Heseltines and the Chris Pattons of the world. However, polling among Conservative Party members are showing that they prefer a move to the right. This is evident by members preferring Robert Jenrick over Kemi Badenoch as leader in 2025 when compared to 2024, given Jenrick's perception of being to the right of Kemi. And a lot of members are entertaining the idea of going into coalition with Nigel Farage. The idea of disaffected Reform members, or members of the right that are more critical of Farage, being accepted into the Tories does not seem that far-fetched, especially with Rupert Lowe himself floating the idea, alongside the Tories giving him a seat on the Public Accounts Committee. This path is most likely if the Tories fail to form a coalition with Reform UK, or Reform wins a landslide or majority, thus giving Lowe and co. an opening in the party. In the final scenario, this is where a real infiltration by the actual far right takes place, or at least by the post-liberals. Fearing further losses into the 2020s and 2030s after the main right-wing force in Britain becomes Reform UK rather than the Tories, alongside an attempt to distinguish itself from the more mainstream Reform UK and Farage, the Tories might actually take that route, especially if younger leaders that are more bold and more daring and edgy decide to take over. I don't know if this will be subtle or overt infiltration, but if we go by the subtle route, we can just look across the pond in the United States regarding the Heritage Foundation. From 1973 to around the 2020s, It was considered a key pillar in conservative thought. It was known for its free market, fusionist conservative approach. However, since the leadership of Kevin Roberts, there has been massive criticism over its support for a more post-liberal direction. Post-liberalism is a doctrine where some on the left and right decided that a lot of principles we hold dear, such as free speech, freedom of assembly, a free press, the right to vote, the support for free markets, the rule of law, and all of those principles must either be re-examined or even rejected in favor of collectivism and a post-constitutional legal order. If the Conservative Party chooses scenario 3, it probably won't get very far, considering that Britain is still a very tolerant society, and at times maybe to its own detriment. One can also simply look at the Heritage Foundation's internal divisions, especially after the Tucker-Nick Fuentes interview, to see how much taking this path might degrade the Tories. Of course, I don't know which scenario will prevail, and any of them can be a possibility in the foreseeable future. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think I'm correct? Do you think there's a secret 4th or 5th scenario that I'm not thinking of right now? Or do you think none of those are correct and that, wow, very, very unlikely, it's still possible that the Tories will have a decent future ahead of it, given the unpredictable nature of politics? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments section. Also, just a reminder that this video is a video version of an article that I've wrote on Substack. Link to that is in the description. I also hope that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Building a YouTube channel has been a long-term dream of mine, so please click the like button, press subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications so you won't miss a new video.